true.
What are some proven tactical approaches for effective networking? So, Brian, you want to take this one first?
Pay it forward.
Pay it forward.
I mean, it's
Yeah.
you get out of it what you put into it.
Oh,
and,
boy.
You know, so even though I probably get 300 emails a day and probably another 10 or 15 LinkedIn requests, I try, even if I am a little, there's a little delay in my responses, even as there are tonight. I make sure I get back, even if it's that 3 or 4 or 5 hour power trip at the end of the week where I'm going through all those emails at the end because I didn't have time during the week. I make sure I respond to everyone because it could be tomorrow where I'm in the same position and I need some assistance. So I make sure that I'm always paying it forward. I always try to introduce people to the right, or I'm very candid in saying, you know what, where you're trying to go, this is not exactly the right venue. Because I believe in bad news now is better than bad news later. Let's just bring it out and say what it is instead of as a sales rep, I would much rather have someone who's in a purchasing decision say, hey, Brian, this is not a good fit for me. I'm not going to buy from you. I would much rather hear that every day of the week than someone say, meet me next week, and keep on delaying it, because they just can't say no. No is one of the most powerful words in the English language. Use it appropriately. So I always want to pay it forward. Respond to everyone's inquiry question within reason, and that's the biggest part. You got to put it into the karma bank.
When someone needs help, help them. Simple as that. When you need help, it really does come around. It's a great point. Misa, you want to add?
I would just say that the whole notion of networking can be a daunting concept, but really it's just talking to people and being friendly. So if you are planning to go to a networking event and you have a sense of who's going to be in the room, what industry, what company, definitely go in with some bullet points of things that you want to talk about, recent news articles. A little plug for Vault, do your research on what's happening at the company right now, so that way in conversation you can bring up, oh hey, I heard that this department is doing such and such a project. Is that something that you're involved in, or, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And that makes them feel like that you care about learning about, about them and what their strengths are. And then from there, really, it's all conversation. I was recently at a networking event with my fiance, who is an introvert, who I will be giving Nancy's book to. So he had me go with him as moral support. So, even if you don't necessarily make a job connection, I helped connect 2 friends for a date that I met there. So and then, maybe one day in the future when I need to go back to that guy and, help him do something else, maybe that would work too. So it's all about helping and just being friendly and then staying in touch. Social networking is great for staying in touch. It's a little bit harder to meet new people and have them feel like a true connection, a confidant, a friend. But if you meet someone offline, connect with them online virtually instantly after that first interaction, I would recommend.
Good point. Terrific. Rose, would you like to add?
Talk about social networking. This young lady's getting married this weekend, and she's sitting here, and I think it's just wonderful. So
Thank you.
That's great social networking.
Yes.
Okay. A lot of times, and also for various generations and so forth, but the students in my class will talk to me and say, I'd like to transition into human resources. And first of all, and we go back to the resume and we say, you need to really identify and what do you want? Make a decision, but you can't waver. And at times I'm finding people who have a lot of doubts. They're career transitioners, they're not sure, but they absolutely need to target, look, here's where I'm going, make that decision and follow it through. Do me a favor, you have a pen in your hand, please do me a favor. I want you to mark this equation down. Just please mark this equation down. Then I'm going to explain it. I want you to mark $ is equal to U minus SI. $ is equal to U minus S period, I period. And what this is about when we start the class, even in training, because HR is totally involved in training within my company, the money that you want to make, and it's not about money, your satisfaction, your passion with the job, the $ is equal to money. It's equal to you, all of you, minus SI, minus self-interference. when you're in this class, when you're here, you bring all these doubts and fears before your new career transitioning, and you got to get rid of that. You have to have that open door, that open mind, because when you have the open mind, that's when the creativity flows. That's when you know, absolutely, I'm going to try this and I'm going to stick with it. And I always use this. There's no time limit. Stick with it. Have passion. Want it. Identify what you want and go for it. Because when you don't identify, you're wavering. You're on the fence.
Great.
And then all of a sudden, you're just stuck there and you're stuck in a rut. So what you need to do is move forward. I want you to research the top 10 companies. If you're interested, you're ready to career transition. One said to me, and I'll make it quickly, one said to me, well, I'm not in HR. How do I transition? I was executive assistant to a chairman. I said, my dear, you have interviewed, haven't you? She said, yes, I have, for the chairman. I said, you do have those qualifications that you have interviewed. So you need to take that talent, those gifts from the previous career and bring it to the table now. And that's where you enhance your resume. It's enhancing your skill sets and what you do. You bring your talent, your gifts to the table, and you put it in that resume. And last is the networking process. Bring all of that whole ball of wax, and bring it to a networking association, conference, and so forth. We have the 5 o'clock club. It's here. Look it up on the internet. 5 o'clock club. People who really could be out of work, networking, looking for jobs. They have people there. You can network. It's held in it was the B. Altman building years ago on 34th and 5th. But these are the places. They start at 8:30. Nice breakfast.
Okay, great.
Okay?
Yes.
Yeah. And let me tell you something. They are there to help. And it is invaluable. Get yourself out there and market yourself. You are your own selling tool.
Hear, hear, and watch out for that SI. Okay. Sean.
So many good things have been said. I would say one of the key things that I found about networking that was important when I was in my transition was trying to help the people that wanted to help me. Everybody wants to help you. But if you're not clear, it's sometimes a little tough. You leave the person scratching their head thinking, how can I help her? So if you can be prepared to say, this is what I'm looking for, then people can be thinking along those lines and can respond to you accordingly. And the other thing I will just say about networking, I said it when we were not mic'd, is that networking is not only for the not working. Right? Networking is not only for the not working. It is for us all of us at all times. It is a life skill. We network when we are working inside of our organizations. I do it all the time. It's called collaboration. I have a project. I need somebody with a different set of skills than I possess. I need to network to pull that person into the project.
Good point. Yeah. Excellent point. Thank you, Sean.
You're welcome.
And Pam, what would you like to add to that?
Well, there's two things that I want to mention. One is, and people have touched on this already, the idea of knowing how to market yourself. You have to think like a marketer, and I spent 12 years as a marketing executive in corporate America before I escaped. And so that's one of the things that I try to bring to my career coaching clients, helping them to think about themselves, not to be cold about it, but as a product. You are a product. Who is your target audience? Who are the people you're trying to reach? How do you solve their problems? What is your position in the marketplace? Thinking about all of these marketing principles and how you can apply them to yourself as someone seeking a job or seeking an opportunity. But I think people have to be careful because everyone sees where that goes too far, right? Because the other thing is establishing rapport and making a human connection. Because you can do the hard sell, you can be perfect for a job. If the person doesn't like you and see themselves working with you in the future, spending every day in the same office with you, it's not going to really be a success. So you have to think about that. You have to think about marketing like brands like Apple. They're great at marketing, but you also want to hang out with them. You kind of want to be associated with the brand. So you have to build that rapport as well as knowing how to sell yourself and showing people how they can help you. What kind of job should you recommend? Who should I recommend you for? And it comes like your dentist story is funny. I had one recently, a client that I was working with, in a very roundabout way, was just really good at telling people what they were looking for, turned out a contact they had made was selling something on Craigslist to someone who happened to be an executive at a company that was looking for someone. The conversation came up, and this person ended up with a job based on 4 degrees of separation, including Craigslist and a secondhand couch. So you never know what's going to
Stranger
happen.
things have been known to happen.
Excellent point. And something I'd like to add to piggyback on that, Pam, is make it fun and make it easy for people to help you. Make them proud of putting their name next to yours. So what's your name?
Eleanor.
Eleanor. And may I ask, are you in search, or is that
Always.
Always. Okay, perfect.
Good answer.
So
Good answer.
if I recommend you, what are you searching for?
Video producer.
Video producer. Okay, so that's what you do.
Yes.
Okay, so if I know someone who needs your services, you need to make it so that when I attach my name to yours, I'm proud to do so.
Yeah.
You made it easy for me. You made it fun for me. I felt good about myself that I connected you, and I looked good in front of, what's your name, Karen? So if Karen's your target, Karen now thinks well of me as well and appreciates me for connecting the two of you. So I think a lot of people lose sight of that. And when I do connect you, and this isn't all about my ego, but when I do connect you, I want to know that it worked out, or it didn't work out, but thank you anyhow. But really important to follow up and to also really make the other person look good and make it easy.